Hi, everybody. Welcome to Terrell Talk. I'm Donna Terrell. This is my internet show where I talk to people I find interesting. And this is part 2 of a very, very interesting man, community philanthropist and author Kevin Hunt of Little Rock. I want to thank you so much for your compelling interview in our last segment. One of the things we didn't get to talk about, which you were telling me as we took a little bit of a break, you were shot by police?
No, I was just shot by
You were shot by one of the other gang members?
Yes. And been shot by someone and also been shot at multiple times. And so I'm just blessed to be still living.
And thriving.
Yes, and could have easily been shot by the police because I ran from them so many times and throwed guns either out the car or once I got out the car running. So they could have easily been a different story with my life.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your book, Why Me God?
Yes.
Let's talk about this.
So why me God, I always like to tell people that why me God is not because I was asking God why I was going through the things I went through, because everything I did was something that I did. It was more about, I want to write this book and kind of explain to people why God chose me to do the work that I'm doing, going out speaking and talking to people, men and women that's incarcerated, and young men and women that's in these schools, junior high schools, maybe even elementary, to make sure that they don't go down the pathway that I went through.
We have pictures of you talking to students. How do they respond when they hear your story?
It's amazing because I go in there with a suit and tie, so they think I'm coming to this financial guy, or this banker or something to share the story, and they see me and they look at me like, what he's about to share. And then when I get into my story, being someone from Little Rock, may know their family members and stuff, they just be like, oh my God, I didn't expect to hear that from you.
They don't expect to hear it because, first of all, they know some of the guys and some of the people who are involved in these gangs. And they know what they see every day. They don't see someone dressed like you that went through it all.
Yes, I know, and that's so funny to me, because once I start sharing with them, I have their full attention, and they looking at me, and then at the end of my conversation with them, they always have 1,000 questions about, well, how did you do this, and what made you do this, and it's just on and on and on. It's just amazing how that happens. And so that's why I understand why me, God, because God chose me to do this work.
So when you talk about the work, and certainly I do understand you're going out, you're a motivational speaker. You're talking to kids in high school, you're talking to prison inmates, you're just talking to a number of people about what you went through. What else is involved with what you're doing and your mission, your work?
Yeah, and so the biggest thing is I want to restore hope for somebody that's coming out of prison, or somebody that was in that situation that I once was, from elementary to middle school. So I just try to restore the hope, because a lot of us are just hopeless. And so what I do is go around, and when I'm sharing my story, when I'm talking to them, I always remind them that it's never too late to change your life. Don't worry about your circumstance. Think about the possibilities. Start dreaming and start living those dreams. It is not as hard as they think it is, and I always share that with them too.
You say it's not as hard as they think it is. It's daunting. The idea for someone to do what you've done can be daunting. I mean, and I have to even wonder how you got through it. Why me, God? You know, how you got through all that, because especially starting off, someone who can't read and write, and you're in the Little Rock public school system, and finally you drop out because, hey, this is just not working for me.
That's correct.
I need love from somewhere, and let's find it in a gang. You know, but the fact that you broke that cycle, that seems daunting. That doesn't seem like an easy thing to do, Kevin.
And it wasn't. And you know, the first person I had to battle was myself. The same thing that I go out and teach and talk about, that's what I went through. And that's why I started this company called Lessons Learned, because it's the lessons that I learned. And just not believing in yourself. And then we think about all the things that you have to go through, the roadblocks that you have no control of, you know, the things that people tell you, well, you're a felon and you can't do this, can't do that. And so I was just fortunate enough and thankful that God was able to put some people in my life to encourage me and push me, and that's why I'm in the position that I am today.
That's awesome. Now, you have Why Me God, but you actually have 2 books here. One is Rewriting My Story.
Yes.
So, and they both actually, they look very much alike. Why Me God and Rewriting My Story. What's the difference here?
So I had to, in order for me to be able to go into the schools and the prison system and allow them to purchase books to give to the people that I'm going to share, I had to remove the word Christ, God, and the scripture and everything because of separation church and state.
Gotcha.
And I don't want to get anyone in no trouble, so to remove all those barriers, what I did just wrote rewriting my story, moving beyond my past, so there won't be any challenges or somebody won't be able to say, well, we can't purchase this book, and so I use it a lot.
So it's the same story.
Same story.
But it's just minus the religious portion of it, because you are a very God-fearing man.
Yes, ma'am.
Church-going and all of that. That certainly had a lot to do with your getting through all of this, right?
Yeah, yes, it did. For once, the people that encouraged me were God-fearing people, and then they instilled that in me and encouraged me, and their faith helped me out for my faith moving forward. So I was able to trust God a lot more compared to, because I had some people who had believed in maybe 30, 40 years, and it was easy for me to make that transition and believing and trusting. And then I got into a great church of Second Baptist on John Barrett, Dr. Kevin A. Kelly.
We know him.
Yes, has him and his crew has just kind of helped his whole flock just kind of grow, and so it has been a blessing as well too.
They are definitely friends of Fox 16. So where do you go from here? Obviously, you're touching a lot of lives in a very meaningful way. It does fall in line with, you know, our philosophy here, you know, at Fox 16 with the Victory Over Violence and the movement that we're trying to do to, you know, help curb some of the violence that is plaguing our communities. But where do you go from here? My
goal is I want to be in every community that I can and reach every young man and young woman in the state of Arkansas and beyond to kind of educate them about crime, about gang, just kind of just allow them to see the, like when I was once in the gang and everybody that was involved with it in my day and where we are today, and allow them so they can see that there's no future in gang banging, there's no future in committing crimes, because the end result is the people that I once was in prison with or was committing crimes with as well. So I want to go in and try to educate young men and women and just kind of remind them, like, hey, I can show you exactly the end result of your activities right today.
Does it break your heart to see some of what's happening with the violence
yes,
today?
It does.
I mean, not just in Little Rock, but it's happening in so many communities around us and around the country, for that matter.
And it really hurts, man. And sometimes, the truth is, sometimes I hate to see the news when I know it's about to come. But the truth is, every time I see the news, it reminds me of the work that I'm supposed to be doing. And there's been many times when, even talking with my wife, like just tears, like he or she didn't even know it wasn't even worth it. Like it's just that split second, like, and that's why I say I'm into educating people about crime and about gang violence. And there's nothing wrong with walking away from a fight. There's nothing wrong. You have to remind a person that there's nothing wrong with walking away from a fight.
There's nothing wrong with it, but the repercussions that they end up getting on the street is very difficult to live through.
Yeah, and I tell a lot of people all the time that, you know, don't allow that your friends, if that's your friend who telling you, man, you let him punk you down, that's not your friend, because what he's basically saying is, hey, you should have shot him or fought him or hurt him. If you have someone that's truly your friend or your family member that loves you, they're going to say, man, ain't nothing wrong with walking away from that fight. Man, don't fight him over because he stepped on your shoe or said your hair is not the curl his hair or your clothes are regular. Look, just think about those little small things like that what causes people to react in a certain way and they end up either dead or in prison.
Very good point. Well, Kevin Hunt Sr., Why Me God and Rewriting My Story, thank you for writing these books. Thank you for spending time in the community and trying to help, you know, steer our young people and some of our convicted felons as well away from a life of crime, and you know, and to know that there's something better out there. You are pretty amazing, I will tell you. I mean, it's not every day that I get the pleasure of talking to someone who can honestly tell me that, you know, Donna, in 9th grade, I was illiterate, and today I'm a college graduate and beyond, actually, you know. And you know what you're doing and the books that you have written and all that lies before you. So good luck with you.
Thank you.
I almost don't want to end the interview because I'm enjoying it so much, but is there anything you want to tell people that I did not get a chance to ask you?
If I was going to share something with somebody, maybe just just don't give up. You know, I struggled with, I almost gave up. Like I said, get you some mentors, some godly mentors, some people that'll push you and encourage you. That's very important, because you're gonna need to be encouraged sometime. And so, but I never gave up, even though the thoughts was in my mind to give up, because I couldn't see the pathway to success. But the people that I had around me wouldn't allow me to give up, and that's my mother, my wife, my son, and family and friends, and you know, just so many people from the community.
The people who loved you. All right.
That's correct.
Kevin Hunt, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And that's all for now. Thanks for joining me for Terrell Talk on Fox16.com. Keep watching for new segments coming soon. In the meantime, join us weekdays for Fox 16 News at 5:30 and 9. Take care, everybody.